let's move on to the lust part of the show. All right. So this has kind of been a little bit of conversation, I would say, the last 2 years with how much it's changed. NIL, people complain about it every single day that it's ruined the sport they love. Yet we continue to show up every Saturday, screaming and yelling. I think we complain more than usual, but that's just life in general. We just love to complain. We love to vent about something. We want to be heard, and we don't want to hear when people are complaining and yelling. That's just kind of the way that it is. People are still buying their NIL jerseys. They're getting burned when they buy them, but they're still buying them. Josh Pate talked about it, and I think he kind of nailed it on the head. It's like, does it still feel the same as it did when you were a kid? Nothing does. Cartoons don't. Cereal doesn't taste the same. My public sub doesn't taste the same. I think that's just life in general. Nothing's going to feel the exact same way that it did. College game day doesn't feel the same as it once did. It's all supposed to change. It always is going to evolve. But to say that it's lost its lust, the hype is bigger than it ever is. We said it all year last year. This is shaping up to be one of the most exciting college football years of all time because of the 12-team playoff. And I agree that it was. Did the playoffs live up to the hype that we thought they would? I was fine with
At
them.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
some
wasn't
games,
mad
yep.
about it. I think the
I thought
Texas
it was great.
ASU game, yeah, those were
Is
all
yeah.
great things. Ohio State just found what they should have had all season and just ran through a big piece of it. But outside of that,
All the
it
games
was
can't be great.
yeah, that's just part of the world. Like, but everybody. Here's the other thing: you could get overstimulated. If everything's good, then what do you compare it to? You need a little bit of
Right.
flatness here and there. I think we got ourselves a fantastic Final Four matchup. You got yourself a fantastic championship matchup. I mean, it was Notre Dame Ohio State. That was great. That was fantastic. So no, I don't think that it's lost its lust. It's definitely changed. There are a few things that have bothered me, but in a weird way, right? Like we went from just buying jerseys that didn't have numbers on them. You wore the one, or if your school kind of had a guy that was 8, like they didn't have names, but you knew who it represented. You kind of were just
Yeah.
kind of back to that because we're all afraid to go buy a jersey because of them leaving in 5 minutes. That part of it, I would say, is a little bit different, but at the same time, we're getting new and shiny toys with the transfer portal that we can get excited about. So the lust has changed from what it was in a sense, but I don't think it's lost it. I think it's bigger than it's ever been. College football and NFL, in my opinion, are the two best brands at branding themselves and making you just be absolutely fired up, regardless of what rules changes they do. The NFL changed the kicking rule last year. The dumbest thing ever. The league's so great and so fun. We got over it in 5 minutes. We're just like, whatever. We don't care. The rest of the product's so good, it doesn't matter. College football is the exact same. Cody?
I think that people maybe because they're watching so many podcasts and watching recruiting, I think people get college football fatigue and
Mm.
NFL fatigue. And as a podcaster, I get fatigued at time. Truthfully, I've kind of unplugged the last week and a half, and it's kind of nice. It's not that I don't love college football any less or any more, but when you're covering it 24/7 and it's on Twitter in your face 24/7, it loses its lust a little bit.
Hmm.
It's like it's one of those things where you can't always have the bite of the apple. It makes it great when you do get that bite of the apple, but when the apple's in your face and you have a buffet of apples, it's not as appealing.
Cody is on. I think you're 100%. You don't think so, Ty? You disagree? Or, or was
Yeah,
analogy meant,
man,
Cody?
I ain't fatigued. I definitely not fatigued.
Okay, hold on.
I'm just
I
getting
want to
going.
speak on it, though, because look, I think some of us love it. I think the junkies are all in for it. But I would say as a whole, yeah. I mean, recruiting covered at an elite level now than what it was before. I mean, the content creators were all trying to constantly talk about it to where it doesn't really have an off season anymore. You can't miss it.
Mhm.
You can't loathe it, right? You can't just you earned for it. And we're still, I want it. Don't get it twisted. Um, but in a way, I kind of appreciate the off season, right? It's nice. And look, I did back then too, so that's kind of neither here nor there. But I kind of to that fatigue, I think we almost hype it up. We excite it. We talk about what it is and how it feels so much that when it finally is here, then it doesn't live up to it. It's like telling your friend about a great movie. You're like, this thing is the best thing. It's awesome. And it probably is a good movie. But you talk about it for a week and it finally gets there and it's like, yeah, it wasn't as good as you said it was. No, it was. I just probably just talked about it so damn much that this thing really had to turn.
Oversaturation.
Exactly. Exactly. Ty, fatigue? No?
No, I mean, I definitely don't have any fatigue. We're good there. But what I understand what you're saying though. I do get it. Like there are certain things that I don't like about it right now, but I think we're slowly but surely getting better, and I think it's kind of bringing back to the old school. It's not ever going to be the old school way because of what we have now, but it's slowly but surely they're putting rules in place and trying to make them work. It's a couple different. There's a couple different things. I understand the fatigue factor, but like there's so much to talk about now. There's always something going on. I don't think it's lost its lust. I just think I think there just needs to be a couple different rules, and I think we're back in the days when I used to get super excited about it when I was a kid. Like there's the only difference is like once again you're nil. You can't go buy a little kid a jersey anymore and be like, well, this might not be good by the end of spring. You
The,
know?
the professor has figured out the nil problem. You buy your jerseys,
Uh-oh.
post spring portal only for seniors.
Oh, there you
It's
go.
not bad.
All I do now.
Well, you get to only still wear them for 1 year.
That's okay. No, I wear them all. If he's a great player, I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
got
can kind of, yeah. Because think about it.
yeah,
That's
I
what
got
we did. Yeah,
Pierce
you
Paul
can still
jersey
wear
I
it.
love.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
definitely rock a Pearsall jersey and be respected. There's something about rocking that nostalgia jersey too that kind of hits a little bit. But yeah, for me, I love it even more. And some people say like, oh, we used to sweat out the must wins. Like think about culture before you had to win every Saturday, and it made Saturday stressful as hell. And maybe it's just because I'm a Florida fan and Saturdays are just stressful in general. Okay, as of late here, but I don't. I think that with even though you have 12 teams, is there an easier path? Yeah, but we're also playing in the SEC, and the SEC is much better than what it was 20 years ago. And so when 4 teams were competing for that spot, for 2 spots, right? Now there's 8 teams competing for 4 spots. The chances of making it are just as hard. It hasn't really changed. It's still stressful as hell. You still got to win the important ones. You still got to get after it. And I kind of like the fact that if you're off one Saturday, the whole season is not just shot. Remember those days?
Yeah.
You'd lose one game, you're like, all right, well, shit's over with. Let's just see what kind of cool bowl game we get. And there was a part where the bowl games were just trash. That was what I was really getting irritated with. You go to 16 teams in the playoffs, you can kind of get back to the more bowl games matter. Why we like the bowl games? Because you kind of get you get the Pop Tarts, you get the nuances, right? Now we would kind of get cooler games, which we're losing. We're losing that regardless. That's just because kids want to sit out and don't want to play. But this, I think it's finding a sweet spot. I agree. I like the fatigue take though. Solid take. I think that is a solid point of why people are feeling this way. But the product, where it's at, I think it's at an all-time high.
I also think that the bowl games are very intriguing because you use the bowl games as the playoff games. I guarantee you they have more viewers now than they would if it wasn't a playoff game. So that aspect I think is pretty big too, honestly.
I can tell you a lot of scouts watching them.
The playoff
Like-
bowl games?
The bowl games, the
So,
college,
like,
the college scouts. Hey, hey, this guy kind of balled out at the Chick-fil-A bowl. Like, hey, can we see if we can slide in his DMs and
Well, it's a
get him
playoff
to
game,
come
right?
over here? No,
Yeah, but what I'm
just
saying is
talking
like the Peach Bowl, if we just had 2 regular teams in it and it didn't really matter, it was just a playoff. It was just, but now when that Peach Bowl becomes a playoff game, now it probably gets more viewers, is what I'm saying. It probably brings some outside
Oh,
people that
no
would
question.
not watch it to begin with.
Yeah,
No
for sure.
question.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good for the brand,
That's what I'm
For
saying.
sure.
That's why they want to expand it, because now you probably got, honestly, these bowl games that they know that they're the next 2 or 4 bowls that are kind of on that cusp of like, hey, we could be in this viewership world. They're probably banging on that door of like, hey, add a couple more
they're
teams
fighting.
in there. Yeah, add a
They're
couple more
fighting. They want that thing for sure. They want that spot. There's no getting around it.